matter what a stripper tells you, there's no sex in the champagne room. None. Oh, there's champagne in the champagne room.
What's going on, people? I had a really interesting conversation this weekend with someone I've known for a long time. And this person has experienced tremendous success. And they are starting to crack under the pressure. And it was just like talking. It's like, what is the problem? And this person is just like, so many people want so much from me, just the demands. And they said something that just kind of blew my mind. They wish they could go back 10 years to when they were not as successful. And, this person who's a Facebook friend is doing a lot of self-destructive behavior. Crazy stuff. And I just kind of took some time out and said, like, what is going on with you? Because I am seeing just crazy stuff. And it got me to thinking. Because, I call it talking the person off the ledge. I kind of think that the reason that a lot of people are not successful is because they can't handle it. Success dictates change. And a lot of people do not want to change, knowing full well that change is warranted. They need to change. Do not want to do it. And it made me think, what is that? Because I've changed a lot in the last 15 years. Out of desire, necessity, change is just a constant. And I'm going to change some more in the next 15 years. That's called growth. You cannot stay the same and grow. And just listening to the things that this person was talking about, it was just like, I get a deep sense of guilt and shame because they've done really well when no one else in the family, that person's family, has. And they are the odd duck at every family function or whatever because they're so successful. Just period. But when you compare and contrast it with the rest of the family, oh my God. It's like everyone hits them up for money because, it's just like you are the one that made it. You're on salvation. You are the golden child. And I looked at that, and to me, I can say no. A lot of people can't say no. So when they have this high level of success, and really when you can't say no, it's a desire to be liked. Because you don't want to say no because that means someone may not like you. So being successful requires enough self-esteem to realize that just because you said no and someone doesn't like you because you said no doesn't mean that you should not get success. I want you to really think about what I just said. There are people who will not become successful because it means that they will either be very pressured or it'll put them in the position of not being liked. It's that deep. It's that simple. And I talked to my friend and I was like, look, you really need to get your head out of your ass. You worked hard. You did what you were supposed to do. And these are the fruits of your labor. No one gave this to you. No one helped you. You did this shit by yourself. You should not feel bad because someone may not like you because you don't have the time, or a family member had approached this person for $10,000 for what I called a WAS, which is a wild ass scheme. It was brought under the guise as a business plan, and I immediately knew it wasn't a business plan. It was pretty much similar to taking your cash, pulling a lighter or maybe a match out of your pocket, striking it, and lighting the money and watch it burn. That's pretty much what that was. And this person said, no, I couldn't do it. And his mama called him, another family member, and it was like, you need to help out so and so. And I was just like, wow, just blown away. The pressure of those who are successful to help people who are not successful, who are fucking up. There is a difference between someone getting an automobile accident and they're going to the hospital and they need help and it's an accident. I get that. But if you are sitting on your ass 7 days out the week, you refuse to do what you can with what you have because you think that you're going to come in at this upper level. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't want to start in the basement. They do not want to work their way up. They're too good for that. They're too good for that. They are CEO material right now. Yet no one believes in them enough to pay them CEO money. But in their own mind, they're a CEO. And my thing is, if you're a CEO in your mind, build a business and prove it. Because if you're truly CEO, president, founder, whatever material, you'll make it happen. Not saying it's going to be easy, but you'll make it happen. So we go on and we have these talks and everything, and I'm just cracking up because it's like when the person's mother called, I was like, Mom's got in on it? Yes. Just too much. And excuse me. One of the reasons that this person talks to me all the time is I don't really ask anybody for shit. You know, I've known this person, and when I was a scrub, even when I was a scrub, even as bad off as I was, and I did have the entitlement mentality, it was very hard for me to just go around and ask people for stuff because you become beholden to people. You seriously become beholden. I didn't like that feeling. So this person was doing better than I, but I never asked them for anything. And like I said, it got me to really, really thinking, how many people are shortchanging their potential success because they know that to become successful is going to open a Pandora's box of madness in their life. I mean, I want you to think, and I started thinking, because this person drinking, doing weed, and I'm just like, really? I never knew you did that stuff before. And it's to escape the pressure. And in my mind, just say no, be done with it. But when you have a proclivity of wanting to be liked, like that, to really want to be liked to the point that you will kind of coast or step back or not do your best because that means someone will not like you. I don't have that problem. I don't hate on people who are more successful than I am. I actually look at them as motivation. But there are people, that's a problem. You got the guy who has this brilliant wife and she can't shine because he will nut up. You've got the wife who's got this brilliant husband. She will nut up if he starts to shine because of their own low self-esteem. That is more prevalent than I ever thought. I'm just really, really shocked at when I sit back and pay attention to these things, how real that is. How, widespread that is. It really, really is a shocking deal to acknowledge, but it's real. So my question to you, are you able to deal with success? Are you holding yourself back because you know that being successful is going to require changes that will disrupt your life? Success does not come without a price to any person. Sometimes the price is small, sometimes the price is your freedom. Very successful people that are well known do not have a lot of freedom. They may have a lot of fame, they may have a lot of money. Like this thing with West and Kardashian, don't care. She got pregnant and had a baby. I don't really care. But there are people that do, and neither one of them can actually. Now, also, they've courted this level of attention. And that's the other side of the coin. It's not like it just happened. They wanted it and they got it. But there are many who don't court that attention, and it's the same thing. You can't go out to eat. You can't, without someone like accosting you, or I don't really know about that because it doesn't happen to me. I just get people who kind of like give me that look like, I've seen him somewhere before, and they just can't place it. And by the time they figure it out, I am gone like Clark Kent. So I don't know what that's like, and I think I really would not want to know what that is like, because that's madness. But really, think about it. Are you holding yourself back? Have you made some decisions that you know that are not in the best interest of your success to placate to someone else? Mom, dad? Because, after this weekend, just, going through this and talking, I was amazed at what I was hearing and what I was witnessing. And understand, everybody gets weak at times. Things happen. But I do believe being successful in creating greater opportunities, creating greater freedoms, and financial abilities is well worth the risk of pissing someone off or going through the things that will happen when you become successful. Now, until I had a forum dedicated to me, I didn't really think I had haters, on YouTube or other places. I just had, some people who didn't like me. I like, haters to me are people that dog you. That, if someone doesn't dislike you, give you an example. I saw a video from a guy. I didn't like the video. I didn't dislike it. I was just like, I'm not watching anymore. That to me is disliking someone. And that's not hate. It's just like, that's not for you. That's not hate. But I had people dogging me, coming up to webinars, using their precious time to fuck with me. That's a hater. When they rise to the level that they're doing stuff, that's a hater. So I didn't really understand that until, last year and this year. And it's just, it's part of the landscape. It's just part of the landscape, because the thing is, what I know with 4 years in the game now, because, July 17th is around the corner, and that would be my 4th year doing this. July 18th would be the beginning of my 5th year. That's kind of mind-blowing. I know that people who dislike you, people who hate you, they come and go. They come and go, because one thing I've learned, there's no profit nor currency in hating. If they're not really getting anything out of it, they're going to burn out. And I've seen several people burn out. Recent group of haters, they burned out. I called it like 6 months ago, and it's already happened. I thought it would go on for another year. But understand, you can't let things like that. I'm working with another friend that was like, well, I don't know if I'm on YouTube. People may say bad. I'm like, fuck that. Don't worry about that. Get your message out. Do your thing. You're a brilliant person. You can help people. There are a group of people in the world that are just unhappy, miserable, and refuse to accept the reason they're unhappy and miserable is because of the bad decisions that they made. Business-wise, career-wise, and personal. It's all a decision. Passive or active, it's all a decision. And they made these bad decisions, and they want to be pissed off. And like I said, years ago, when I was a scrub in that passenger side over there, because I didn't have my own ride, I was a hater. I was a non-relater, bitter. And I think about it, it was just childish. It was really, really childish, because if you take that energy and you focus on you focus on your life, you focus on making things better in your sphere of influence, you focus on your business, because, I'll give you an example. During the Hate Fest, I had two choices. And understand, in the first 2 years of YouTube, I was a total fool, just total jackass. I would get into it, response videos, and calling people, just stupid stuff. And then I learned, and I'm like, sometimes, you're just chomping at the bit. You just want to get into the fray. And I just go back, and I look back, because I keep notes and journals, and I was like, last time this happened, this is what, and it happens. Because, understand, there's got to be some kind of benefit from doing something. There's no benefit. People will, just phase out unless they're like Genghis Khan, and they don't care. It's like, I will hunt you down forever because I am that person. Everyone's not like that. But don't hate on anybody. Really focus on building your business. And that's one of the things I tell people in HMS. Work on your business. Work on your business. Forget the Facebook crew. Because I cut my Facebook time down 90%. And I'm actually spending more time on YouTube than I do on Facebook. Because, just the things that are going on there were not beneficial for my grand design. And you have to make those kind of qualified decisions for your success. Is this worth my time? Like, I love the debate, and I love to get into it. But one thing that saved me and a lot of the people a lot of time is, most of the time I listen to this, not always, but most of the time I ask, am I going to get any benefit from this conversation, or am I going to give benefit? And if the answer is no, I will not participate. I will not participate. And they cut out like a bunch of stuff, silliness. Every now and then I'll just cut loose because it's fun. But that's cool because it's in moderation. But when the predominant amount of your time is invested in fuckery, you're going to have a fucked life. It's no reason. It's no one else's fault but yours. That's why the hate does not make sense. True hate, like someone robs your house and you see that person in the street, that's legitimate hate. Whoop their ass. If I'm on the jury, I'm going to let you go because I can understand. But hating people who've done nothing to you is stupid. And it's a waste of time. And I'm saying that because if you have the mindset of a dissenter or a hater, you will not be very successful because your perspective will be tainted by your personal bias. You cannot have what you hate. You cannot become rich if you hate rich people. You can't be happy if you think happy people are full of shit. It's your perspective it's not real. But your hate, misery, bad days, lonely nights, empty beds, empty wallets, that's your reality. And you would be boo-boo the fool to want to hold on to that shit when you have the choice to let it go. So, just something for you to marinate on. Are you holding back your success because you're afraid of being successful because you know in your heart of little janky hearts you can't handle it? I suggest you make a change, and I suggest you do it today. All right, this is Glendon, and I'll see you on the good side.